One of the troubling debates in the culture wars in the political arena today is the narrative of America. Is America the good guy or the bad guy in the world? And if it's the good guy, why? And if it's the bad guy, why? I'm sure that you struggle with this. I struggle with this. I am going to show to you right now the drift that we have, and I know in your heart you know it, the drift that we are in towards being the bad guy in the narrative. America's foreign policy is not based on human rights. You have to remember that America as the world's leader only happened after World War II. We are like a teenager who inherited a huge mansion and a massive bank account and a fleet of fast cars. And we're a teenager without the maturity to handle it. England was the world's leader for hundreds of years, really, on some levels, prior to World War II. The pound was the currency of the world, not the dollar. And at the end of World War II, the victorious Allies said, look, England's not going to rise back to its former glory. America is the new powerhouse. We want the dollar to be the reserve currency of the world. We're going to look to America to provide leadership politically, militarily. We're going to look to America in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. We're going to look to America to help defend all of our borders against enemies, and then ultimately it was against the Soviet Union. So America, that up until then was the last best hope. People really did come from all over the world, try and get to Ellis Island, to see that Statue of Liberty, to have the chance to be their own boss, to practice their religion, to own land, to own a home. Some of these places where they came from, these were unthinkable dreams. But in America, after a generation or two, people had some real wealth that they were accumulating. They were enjoying real liberty. America wasn't trying to have its agenda throughout the world. It stayed out of world affairs. It was an isolationist country. After World War I, we just withdrew again. Woodrow Wilson wanted to have the League of Nations at the time. The American Senate would not even ratify the treaty. Our American Senate would not let us in the predecessor of the United Nations. That's how much we didn't want the role. But after World War II, big money, big banks, wealthy manufacturers, and the political power players that both were their puppets and were their leaders, they wanted a game change. Roosevelt wanted to strip England and France of its empires, grant autonomy to other nations, and America became, for all purposes, the policeman of the world, the bank of the world, with some caveats. But to this day, America spends half of the world's money on munitions. If you add up everything else that everyone else spends and compare it to us, it's about 50-50. One nation with the rest of the world, about 50-50. So what is America's foreign policy based on? See, it used to be that our foreign policy was based upon human rights, because we weren't trying to do something out there. We were trying to do something here in our own country. Come on over, join us. If you'll hold to this American creed, to the Declaration of Independence, to the Constitution, you're welcome to come here into this melting pot. That is not this country anymore, people. It's the one I was taught about when I was a boy in school, but it's not this country anymore. It's just not. America's foreign policy today is based upon oil. It is based upon deep water ports for our ships of war. It's based upon airfields. It's based upon bread and circuses, trade. It's based on money. China is one of the most oppressive, demonic regimes. The government of China is one of the most oppressive, demonic regimes in the history of the human race. And we have most favored nation status with them, and they are our #1 trading partner. So the deal to betray human rights was cut a long time ago. So those people who are whining and complaining about Castro's Cuba, I guarantee you there is more liberty in Cuba today than there is in China. On many levels. On many levels. They're not in arms against China. You know why? Because we get our junk from them. We get our VCRs, our DVD players rather. We get our televisions. We get our kids' toys. We get our textiles, our clothing, our shoes. Go up and down the aisles of Walmart. It doesn't say proudly made in the USA anymore. It says made in China. So the people who are screaming against Obama, I think that there is just a significant level of hypocrisy here. America's foreign policy is not based upon human rights. It's based upon all the things that I've mentioned. And so it's completely consistent with our foreign policy to normalize relations with Cuba. Heck, we've got an ally in a godless dictator in the Saudi throne. I mean, these are enemies of humanity. And we're in bed with them for oil, for deep water ports, for airfields. What damage is Cuba going to cause us? I have been a leader in the pro-life movement for 30 years. And sadly, we have not prevailed in our goal to make it a criminal act to kill an unborn baby. There's reasons why we have failed. I wrote this book, A Humble Plea, to Catholic bishops, to evangelical clergy, and to lay people, explaining where we went wrong and what we have to do to prevail. We've made this available as a PDF online for free. I encourage you to go and download your own copy. We have put together what we call an online university for you. Now that's a highfalutin way of saying that we have a pretty significant library of material, books, tapes, videos that are there for you for free. Why are we doing this? Because America is desperate for new leaders, and because this material could help you to become the leader that you and God want you to be. Check it out and enjoy it.